Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Oh shit. You done fucked up now. You done put two of America's most wanted in the same motherfucking place at the same motherfucking time.
And I know you're not a big fan of the police and stuff like that, but for the most part, these officers are really good. You know what? They do a lot more good than bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's where we don't see eye to eye on that because
Right.
as you already said,
Well,
my feeling and your feeling,
I know.
I see a totally different
Exactly.
officer than what you see. Like I said before, if I get pulled over, I got 5. You get pulled over, you got 1.
Yep.
And then out of that 5, I'm thinking like, oh, which one is him? Out of 5, one of them's going to be him.
Yep.
And that's why on that one, yeah, we don't see.
So
we
you
don't
knew
see-
I just reeled you in because that's what it's all about.
Right.
I got to understand it from your perspective.
Right.
I've not been in that situation.
Right.
I've never been in that situation where I got 6 people here and I'm scared of them.
Right.
Although in 1982 with affirmative action, I was not able to get a firefighter paramedic position in the city of Middletown.
Huh.
Yep.
Wow. Why do you think? Yeah, you threw it at me. Yeah, but why do you think we don't here in Lebanon we don't have any African American officers or I mean what?
Because they're smart.
Right.
It's hard the recruiting, and I was talking to Chief Mitchell and stuff it's just hard recruiting, and individuals are going different paths and stuff like that. I've seen more females on the PD than ever before, and I don't know. They're just not applying.
Right.
I don't, and you know darn good and well that they would, if you get a good young candidate, they're going to take them, and
Right.
they're just having issues with finding good people.
Right.
It doesn't matter what color you are,
Right. I
or
see-
gender or anything.
Right. I see they got I think she might be mixed. African American girl to work. I think she might be.
Oh,
mixed.
yeah.
But that to me that's
Right.
just like that's just a double minority. They just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. She's a female and plus she's considered black. So they just they ain't fooling me. Yeah, that's just a double minority.
Well, that's your.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know what her credentials are?
Yeah, but I mean,
She
if
might
you-
be impeccable.
But I just hope she don't fall into the good old boys way of thinking. Because if you
Right.
try to think different than the system, you're not going to be there long. So I
Yeah.
just hope, if she ain't already, I just hope she don't get that mentality.
Right.
Because that could be detrimental to the whole system.
Well, these officers are getting hired. They're unlike me. They're very well educated. They're way better schooled than I ever was. These I would call them kids now. I guess I looked that young when I was 21.
Wish we had a picture.
Weighed
of
a
that.
$110. Oh man, yeah. You should see it's amazing. But these new officers are very well trained. They're very well educated than it used to be.
But I'm looking at the point that what you learn in a book is different than what you learn in the
I
street.
know.
So you could be all the educated you want, but when it comes down to actually handling it in the street,
Yep.
that's a whole different ball game.
Exactly. Well, and that's where I said earlier, I'd take advice from you than I would somebody with a degree in, drug dealing or something, or sociology or psychology or something.
Right.
I mean, you've been there, done that.
Right. And that has been I don't know what the heck was wrong with me back then. I mean,
What was wrong with all of us?
Yeah, but I sat back and thinking like, well, what the heck was wrong with you?
Yeah, but you know what? Right now, I am so proud of you coming off and doing this. I mean, it's amazing, and you can reach a lot of people. Now, you can do a better job than me or somebody, but I just always felt that. I've said that to you for years.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I said, man, you got so much potential to help a lot of people, and I'm so excited that you're doing this, man. I mean, it boils down to just like we're doing right now. We just sit down and talk.
Right. You know, it's so hard to sit down with somebody of authority or power in this town to have a talk like this.
Right.
Because as you said before, everybody got a political agenda, and really everybody talks about it, but they're not being about
Right.
it. You know, as we always say, talk is cheap.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of lip service, but we ain't getting no room service.
So, have you had any? Didn't you have the mayor on here?
Yeah.
What was her? Or maybe we better not go there.
Say that for another show.
Okay, we're probably running out of time, but you know, you're right. I mean, you got to follow through. When
Right.
you tell people you're going to do something, then you do it.
Right. And that's,
You know, and you do the best you can. You know, I mean, I know I failed people and I didn't follow through with stuff. I mean, that's part of living, a part of life. You know, and I look back on, you know, hindsight's 20/20.
right.
You know, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would. You know, I just see all the wrongs. You know, and hopefully God will forgive me for everything that I've done.
I think you'll be forgiven
Right.
because you did. I mean, I vouch for you. I mean, you was respected. We in the black neighborhood, we respected you. You know, even though that you was a cop, but we still respect you because you was real. You didn't pull our leg. You didn't give us a line of
No.
BS. You just was always up front with us and,
Yep.
and treated us like human beings. That's what you did.
Right.
You treated us like equal. And, that's what we don't see nowadays. Even with this police department here, we don't see that. We're not treated as equal like it was when you was there. And really,
Right.
you was about the only police officer that actually treated us like that. Because, you would come around and you would show interest in us. I mean, you wouldn't just be there to take us to jail. I mean, you interacted with us. You treat us, like I said, you treat us like we was human, and it made us feel good. That's why we always respect you. That's why I wanted to have you on here, man, just to, because I just want to, thank you. You know what I mean? This is my way of giving back to you, to showing people like, look, we can do this.
Right.
We can do this.
It can be done.
Yeah,
Oh,
it can
yeah.
be done. It can
You
be
know,
done.
we just need to, just drop our defenses and start talking and just seeing the other side.
Yeah, people take them, quit trying to be an authority. Everybody wants to,
Right.
like you said earlier,
Well,
everybody wants to talk.
You know what? You strap on that gun and badge, and
Yeah, how does that make you feel when you go that route?
you get a big head.
That's what I thought.
Well,
I mean,
he's running down the football field,
yeah,
busting these people, running over people,
yeah.
shooting 3-pointers, outrunning everybody. How'd that make you feel?
Well, as you said, it goes to your head.
You was
It goes to your head.
you was the real deal.
Right, and that's something that a lot of people always probably want to know is how does, when you're putting on that badge and you're putting on that uniform, you transform into
Yep.
another individual. You leave Robb at home, but now you're officer,
And you've got to do that.
But how do you turn that off? I mean, because that goes back to that us versus them mentality.
You know, in after I retired, and I'm kind of getting a different mentality now.
Mhm.
But for first 2 or 3 years, it's rough.
Right.
I'm always looking. Tony hates it when when we're driving together. Because I'm cruising the speed limit. I'm strolling around.
Right.
Looking. I say, oh, that's expired plate. Or
Oh, you still
what's he
doing?
yeah. Oh man. What's he up to?
Yeah, that just.
It's
But I can understand.
it's human nature.
I can
you
understand
know?
that.
I mean, it's just you're just looking out for things, and it's just the way of life. Just like your head was on a swivel for a different reason.
But you know what? My head is still on the swivel, and
Yep.
and that's why I can understand what you're saying. Because when I'm out, if I walk out this door right here, I'm looking. I done seen all four corners before I even step out the door. I mean, I look around, and then when I'm driving, as you say, my head's on a swivel.
Yep.
He look like a cop. You know, to say you're talking about what a person is doing, like what look like they're doing wrong, and I'm looking like, damn, he look like
Right.
a cop. You know, or you know, when
Yep.
we see a cop, we tense up. I still do it today, and I'm not doing a daggone thing illegal.
Yeah.
I see one, I
know.
tense up, or I might have my hat on, and I take it off, because you know that
Right.
was just part of the profiling that we used to go through. You know, as simple as a hat, a Jordan hat or something. You know,
Right.
you know, and we get stereotyped for that. So a lot of times we got pulled over because, you know, as we say, fit the description. You know, and you know, and that's sad, but you know, in order for it to change, like you said, people got to come together.
Yep.
People got to have a more open mind and get to know the person. And then, you know, if you didn't know me, like you would probably thought I was the worst guy on earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
Right.
stereotype. And if I didn't know you, I'm probably like, you know, he's a cop, man, F him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But that's what we got to do, is have better relationships and better
It's-
understandings of each other.
It's all about understanding
Yeah.
and listening.
Understand
We don't
people.
listen anymore. Just like I said, I mean, that's my biggest pet peeve.
Right.
We just don't listen. We've got all this information coming in from the news media and the radio and all this, you know, and crap coming in. You know, we're constantly bombarded. Our phones.
Right.
You know, there's times I just turn the radio off in my car.
Right. I'm going to hit you with this one. How did you feel about the George Floyd incident? As being a police officer, a retired police officer, how did you feel about that? How did that affect you, or did it affect you?
Well, you know what? It was murder. You know, when you got, it kind of pisses me off, because then those incidents mark everybody as a cop who's a bad cop.
Right.
You know, and it's the furthest from the truth. I know you know, have your dealings and stuff, and rightfully so. There's a few of them, but he was dead wrong. When they got control of that guy, you cuff him. They had him cuffed. Get off of him.
Right.
You know, and they teach that. It's called positional asphyxiation, and they teach that. You know, roll them under slot. I never kept you on your stomach for very long.
No, with all them guns looking at me, I wasn't going nowhere anyway.
Well, that wasn't my issue. You know,
I know what you're saying.
once we got you contained,
Right.
you know, you roll you over and sit you up, or we pick you up and stuff you in the back of the car or something. You just can't, especially with somebody, you've got to be aware of everything, you know,
Right.
and it was just bad, you know, and I just thought that was that ego coming out in him.
Right.
When I watched that, I'm thinking, you know what, he's got the power over this guy,
Yeah.
you know.
What did you think
But-
about that look on his face when he was
Yeah,
doing that?
well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the guy would have given the $20 back. This never would have happened if he would have complied with law enforcement. If he wasn't doing drugs, you know, if he wasn't, you know, I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
you know, but you've got it in my gosh, policing right now it's always been difficult, but you got to use your training. You've got to use your common sense. You've got to stop. You know, there's been incidents where, well, I don't want to say that. You know, I pulled an officer, my supervisor, off of another guy when he's choking the crap out of him. You just got to stop.
Right.
You gotta take control. You know what? You're responsible. You raise your right hand to protect and serve, and you're protecting not only their rights but everybody's rights. You know, you've got to, you know. But in the heat of battle, man, you know,
Yeah.
when you're throwing that ram through the front door of somebody and your adrenaline's pumping,
Right.
you know, you just kind of get this tunnel vision, and it's just, you know, you just see one thing.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling in the world. At 6:30 in the morning, you hear that boom and
Police, search warrant.
oh
Get
no,
out of here.
that is the worst. You be like, they done caught me
That-
sleeping.
I always wanted to ask you about that. What did you ever? Was you always caught off guard?
Well, usually, I had figured out the routine here in Lebanon, Warren County, because they would come on Fridays. That was their days. They would come on Fridays, and what we would do, we wouldn't be around on Fridays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we always knew that you guys come on Friday, so we had to be in jail until Monday. So, what, no court on the weekend. Yeah, I figured out you guys' system, yeah. Yeah, you got, and on a Friday, boy, I tell you what, if we was at home, we wouldn't go to sleep till like at least about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, because you guys usually come in the morning time.
Yeah, we always hit in the morning, unless you had a nighttime search warrants.
Yeah, they vary. I never seen one of them.
No, you have to have special circumstances for a nighttime search warrant. There's few. I mean, even with the feds, the 3 years we probably did 2 or 3 nighttime raids just for safety issues and other factors that came in, with a multi-jurisdictional. I mean, it was just a huge operation. So it was a nighttime, warrants on these few things too.
Yeah, but the feds now they would come anytime. They didn't have
right.
That. Yeah, but I knew Warren County that was their thing. It was on a Friday, like I said, just so they can get you in there. And next thing you know, here they come and wanting to talk to you over the weekend. No, go on, man. But yeah, that was their thing. We always try to be gone on. Don't come home Thursday night.
Did you ever have any weapons?
No, that is something I never dealt with weapons. These was my weapons.
Right.
Back then, but I never dealt
I should say I don't ever recall an ever.
Never.
Yeah.
I never participated in the gun world. That wasn't me, because I look at the guy who's labeled the shooter.
Right.
He's the weakest link.
What about using?
Using?
Yeah.
Using drugs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did drugs. Yeah, my main thing was powder.
Yeah.
That was my main thing, and as I was about ready to say on the shooter, like that's why I never carried guns, because the shooter is the weak link of the whole operation, because the shooter he's replaceable. All he's there for is to pull the trigger, and if you got to do that to fit in, that lets you know how low on the totem pole you are, because soon as you go to jail, we got another shooter. Shooters are easy to find.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And really the shooter is the guy who's the loner. The shooter really didn't have many friends. I mean, everybody that you see as the shooter, he wasn't respected until they started shooting. And them is the ones that when they go to prison, you be like, man, ain't nobody fooling with him. They don't care.
Right.
Because you're replaceable. All you doing is pulling the trigger. You ain't using your brain. You're disposable. So that's why I had never used the gun thing, because I was smarter than that. If you gotta shoot somebody, you might as well get away from the situation. Because one thing that I ain't gonna be no murderer.
Right.
No, that's the bottom of the barrel right there, in my opinion.
Did you ever make any UCs?
Huh?
Undercovers?
Did I make any?
Oh, did you ever?
Oh, I done peeked them out a few
Yeah.
times. Oh yeah, especially around here, they thought they was slick. They all look like little roofers. They all got the beard, little short guys. But you could always tell by their fingernails.
By their fingernails?
Yeah, because they was never dirty. They was never dirty. They was never dirty. Yeah. I mean, just little thing. Don't get mad at me, players out there. I ain't giving away the game. We just kicking it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, little things like that. Or,
right. Yeah, I always know it was, and I could never do it. I never could.
Right. There's so many little telltale signs of a UC. What I'm saying? It might be the way that, they used to be so dumb sometimes. They'd call me on the phone, hey, Tommy, you got any cocaine? Hold up, we don't talk like that.
Right.
We don't do that. I just hang up the phone. You know what I mean? I mean, one time they had called me and said, hey, Tommy, you want to, and then they called me Tommy. That's another thing. Nobody called me Tommy but the police.
Right.
That's the only one, you know. And they had called me anytime can you bring me 8 ball of cocaine to Harmon Park? I'm like, man, are you crazy, man? I just click up the phone, you know. I mean, they would just, it's just the way they talk, you know, because in the street, you don't call cocaine.
Right.
I mean, when you do that, you know you're a cop, you know, or can you bring me some marijuana? No, we call it a whole lot of different things but that. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you know, there's little telltale signs. You know, I done made plenty of UCs, yeah. Right over there at that bar over there at the pub.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they used to come in there a lot.
Yeah.
Then
Well, they always hit the bars and look
Yeah.
for liquor violations. And
But they weren't looking for liquor
dope.
violations.
Yeah, they're looking for dope.
Yeah. But you know, it's kind of easy to spot them. You know, they're not that crafty
Just
as they think they are.
cat and mouse game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys, the way you guys think, you know, we're out there thinking too.
All right.
You know, we're out there looking and thinking and figuring out who's who. And then the way that they might, a lot of them try to drive little raggedy cars and all that. You know, some they done compensated for somebody. You know, thinking we don't
Right.
know what's going on. And then that's my dude's car they drive. You know, we might, they think they slick. You know, yeah, we know he's locked up. So what they doing driving his car? So we know who it is. You know, it was a lot of little telltale signs that I ain't gonna give them too much of the game, but that's just the fingernails in the car.
Well,
we'll leave it like that. Because you know, there's some out there, there's still some guys out there that ain't changed their life yet, and you know, they got to change it on their own. I'm not helping nobody do nothing, but you know, it's a lot of telltale signs.
But you know, in the bottom line is it ain't worth it. The retirement system sucks.
Yeah.
If you're dealing, you know, there is
ain't no retirement.
You're gonna prison, death,
and that's it.
That's it.
You know, because and then another thing that people got is the streets don't love you. You think the streets love you, you're dumb as a box of rocks, because the streets don't care nothing about you. Because as soon as you gone, somebody else already done took your spot.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, and the streets ain't sending you no money on your books. The streets don't even care about you once you're gone. But then once you get back out, here the streets come again. Now they love you again. You know, and that's another thing that I want people to understand. Man, get out the streets, man. The streets don't give a dang about you, man. Mm-hmm. The streets don't care about nobody but the streets. You know, and you know, as long as you keep playing that game, keep thinking the streets love you, you're gonna find out the hard way.
So how do we get your message out? How do we, you know, get Tom out in front of talking to the people that need it? I mean,
well, I have always been open to that. I say that every show. You know, I will come out and talk to anybody. You know, high schools, junior high school, whatever.
Right.
I mean, you know, go into holler at the guys in the county, or I mean, I'll be willing to do anything like that to try to you know, open people's eyes to, you know, hold up, brother, this ain't worth it, man. This ain't worth it. Right. And as you just said, ain't no retirement when you retire from the street life. Mm-mm. You know, you done wasted all these years and you have nothing to show for it. Because usually when you get caught, they take everything you got anyway.
Well, yeah, I used to drive the cars around up there. I knew. Yeah. Remember the forfeiture? We'd take your cars and I'd be driving around up there and they get mad.
I used to hate that.
I know.
I had lost so many cars to Warren County that it was a shame. Oh my God. But you know, it all goes to show that the path I took, no matter how rough it was, that was the path I meant to take.
Right. Because
I look at it, if I might have went to college and made it to the next level with the mindset I had, I might be dead right now. Because I mean, I still had that addiction mindset back then, and I probably would have might have OD'd or anything, you know, because the more money you got, you know, the more crazy you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you got an addiction personality, you know, you end up more or less dying due to your addiction. So, you know, it's the path I took. I didn't like it, but today I'm glad I did. You know, because if it wasn't for the path I took, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I wouldn't be making the moves I'm making to try to make a better way.
Right.
Yeah, But yeah, everybody, thank you for joining in the Prison of Promise OG's Tales of Redemption. Today, me and my buddy Rob, we had a nice little conversation. I hope everybody learned something and got something out of it. Stay tuned, and we'll be back real soon. Peace out, y'all. Prison of Promise is a podcast by Thomas Payne and produced by Dan Lyons. If you want to get a hold of Prison of Promise for any situation, you need our help, or you want to just talk to us, hit us up at prison2promise1981@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Prison to Promise and OG's Tales of Redemption, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Spotify. Peace out, y'all.